did Dr. White suggest that Michael Jackson may have orally consumed propofol, causing his death?
Yes, he did.
What was your reaction to that?
I was disappointed because it's not possible.
So there you go. Again, so one thing it tells us, when Paul White takes the stand, that is going to be good theater, right, John? Because it sounds like this guy's ready for a battle in court.
Absolutely. And let me make it more interesting, Mike. After this is all done, the prosecution has a right to do a rebuttal case, which means they could bring Shafer back on after listening to what White is about to say to rebut what White said on testimony, and then there could be a surrebuttal, which means the defense attorney now could bring Paul White to bring in to cross-examine or to dispute what Shafer said. So this could go back and forth for a little while because it is the battle of the experts. That's what I've been saying from day one.
You ever seen anything like it where you have two friends in the same field like this that are doing battle? Guys that are so close, I believe they've exchanged glances and even a wave as this trial's gone on. Now, not too happy with each other, at least from what we can gather from Paul White.
I'm sure in the propofol club, there's very few anesthesiologists that work with propofol. So I'm sure all three of them are going to know each other. So I'm not surprised in that regard.
Got it. Wow. Propofol, man, we've learned a lot about it. And as Dr. Stephen Shafer was our teacher through all this, let's get to some more big picture points that are really going to matter when it comes to this jury deciding this case. And just a bottom line point that Dr. Stephen Shafer made, that Dr. Conrad Murray is responsible, whether it's propofol, whether it's lorazepam. You brought all these drugs into Michael Jackson's room and left him alone with them. Let's listen to that, John.
And it's your opinion that Conrad Murray will still be a direct cause of Michael Jackson's death, correct?
Yes.
And why is that?
That's because he is a physician who has brought propofol into the room, started an intravenous, and provided access to propofol to a patient who may, in fact, be developing a dependency on sedatives. And he has been entrusted by Michael Jackson to look after his safety every night. And he has failed that responsibility while enabling the administration of intravenous propofol. He is responsible for every drop of propofol in that room.
And lorazepam?
There you go again, John, and he was going to talk about lorazepam as well. He's responsible for that too. I don't care how you're handling the evidence. That's hard to argue. Murray's given Michael Jackson a very dangerous sedative. You can't leave, and everybody gets that.
Yeah, and you know, I love that soundbite. He's responsible for every drop of propofol. It really hits the nail on the head in this case because the prosecution's contention is that propofol should have never been administered, especially in a setting like that. How is Chernoff going to be able to get that across with Shafer? I don't think that's going to happen. I don't even know how Paul White is going to say that. Is Paul White going to take the stand and said that it was okay for Murray to administer the propofol with the setup the way it was, without the equipment, without proper care? How is Chernoff going to explain in closing arguments why Murray didn't hire the experts, the nurses, the equipment? He wasn't properly equipped. So there's a lot of problems in this case. And what about the substantial cause and effect? It was Murray. He walked away from his clients. You heard Shafer say you can't walk away because a person that looks alive may look the same 2 seconds later. So Murray going away and talking to his social club girls on the telephone while Michael Jackson is dying is going to be a little problematic, and the jury's not going to like that.
Well, we forgot about that, didn't we? The calls he's making, and even you get Sade Anding, one of his girlfriends, on the phone saying, we were talking. The phone goes basically silent as Conrad Murray, the prosecution will have us believe, then discovered of Michael Jackson in distress, potentially dying at that point. John, great stuff this afternoon. Dr. Stephen Shafer, one more time, another powerful, simple argument. You don't give someone propofol and leave their side. You watch their every breath. Real quick, let's bring back our criminal defense attorney, John Manuelian. It's an uphill battle for the defense, isn't it, John?
Absolutely. Very, very tough case, but they got to keep going. And remember, Mike, it's now the defense's turn to go up at bat.
All right, John, we'll be talking again in just a little bit. And speaking to that point, I want to let everybody know, court resumes 3:45 Eastern, 12:45 Pacific. That's when it's going to get interesting. The cross-examination of Dr. Stephen Shafer, done by not J. Michael Flanagan, who's handled all the science, but Ed Chernoff's taken over. And John Manuelian with good insight letting us know these things happen. You know, you go in with a very good knowledge of the case, and you just call basically an audible as the game goes, to use a sports analogy, and you change things. That's going to be interesting. We'll be talking about it throughout the afternoon.